So today I got to speak with a client who's been suffering with DPDR pretty much his whole life. And you may hear that and think, well, that's terrifying. I hope that that's not me. Why has he been suffering so long? Does that mean that it takes everybody this long to recover? I want to ease your mind and give some context as to why he's been suffering for so long. So he's 21 years old and he has a disproportionately painful and complex trauma history. He grew up in, let's just say for privacy's sake, an abusive household. One of his parents was an alcoholic. He went through severe narcissistic abuse. He grew up in a chaotic, abusive, unstable, unpredictable, punitive, aggressive environment. The definition of a nervous system war zone. And especially in the early years of development as a child, our brain is essentially laying the neurological template by which we'll interpret all future human experiences. Now, of course, there's something called neuroplasticity, so don't let that make you afraid. If you're wired for trauma and anxiety and panic and DPDR, we can rewire the brain, and that's what I do with clients, and that's what I had to do myself to heal. But nonetheless, especially between the ages of 0 and 2, I know it's scary to think about. Whenever I heard this in a trauma training, I was like, what? Are you serious? Between 0 and 2, a majority of the neurological template in our brain that will determine how we interpret future human experiences is already laid. But of course, there's other milestones. I think one was like, between the ages of 2 and 12 as well. But I mean, even, past these times, whenever you're 30, 40, 50 even, you can go through very painful things. But all that I'm saying is there's something about those early childhood experiences that really affect us as we get older and become adults. Because our brain is like, okay, what's the procedure for how I'm going to handle being alone? What's the procedure for how I handle adults? Are adults safe? What's the procedure for whenever I deal with emotion? What's the procedure for this? What's the procedure for that? And if all of the procedures have been wired to put your body into fight, flight, freeze because you didn't feel safe, and these neural pathways have been being used for years and years and years, that's going to definitely make it more difficult to recover. Still possible, but more difficult. And it explains why there's so much DPDR for so long, because this has been a pattern of protection going back all the way to childhood. And the thing about neural pathways in the brain is the more that they fire, the more stronger the association with that sensory data becomes, and also the faster and more efficient that our brain gets at putting us into whatever the associated procedure is. And eventually it's a neural highway, not just a neural pathway.